How's it going, everybody? Jeff Slakey here, and I am at Southside School District, home of the Bobcats, in the library with Superintendent Paul Weineke. Paul, how you doing?
Great. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me on.
Happy new school year.
Yes, we have had a great start to the school year this year.
Tell me a little bit about how the numbers looking. This is your third year as the super.
Yes, it is. We're up a little bit in enrollment. We've, over the last 2 years, been in the high 190s, and this year we had an influx of kindergartners, so we opened up a second kindergarten class.
Great.
And so we're up about 209 students, which for our small school has been our history. We're still maxing out our facility even though we're at 209 students.
Wow, that's great. Where did you see the influx from?
It's some families that are moving in, some families that have traditionally gone to our school that, or they have siblings here, and we let them in also.
Very cool.
A lot of parents want their kids to go to our school.
I hear always good things about Southside schools. What do you think it is
thank you.
About the culture here at the school?
Well, we have great parent partnerships, and once again, after the COVID, we were able to reconnect our parents in a real positive way. That and we have an incredible teaching staff who are really dedicated to understanding what our talents are as a school, as a group of professionals, but also what our students' talents are and their ability to help students envision what their positive futures are about, and then have them go on a pathway with the willingness to stick to that pathway towards positive futures.
What are some of the aspects that you're trying to focus on this year? Of course, we're in the library, and it's a great place and looks very welcoming for the students to come in and find a book of their level. Reading, I'm sure, is on there. What else is on the list for Southside?
Well, reading and math, obviously. After the pandemic, we had noticed the gap in student learning, and we focused with an exact science on data, understanding where our kids are at and where they need to go in reading and math. And because of that, we've been able to turn our reading and math scores around. And so each year we're trying to improve at least at a 5% increment in improvement in reading and math. But we're back now to those years where our students are performing at or above state level again. So we turn the trajectory around, and that's a big thing. Of course, the federal dollars have helped with our interventions, and also making our facility a place where it's safe and warm. We were able to use our federal dollars to upgrade our heating and cooling system. So that's it from the previous standpoint. All of our federal dollars are gone, and so we're looking for increased funding sources wherever we can. We have a new subdivision that'll be coming in, which we expect between 80 and 110 new students over the next 3 or 4 years. So the face of this little 120-year-old school district, independent school district, will probably change. We'll need more classroom space. We'll need more gym space, cafeteria space. So we're in the process of planning all that right now.
When it came to those federal dollars that came in over the COVID pandemic years, a lot of school districts became heavily reliant on that and based future hiring practices and things like that. And as you mentioned, that money has slowly started to fade away. Is there any conversations you're having with the state or the ESD when it comes to helping to keep what you had during the pandemic at some of those levels of support?
Well, Jeff, I appreciate that question. A lot of it is about sustainability, and we have the support as far as learning recovery goes, but when that goes away, we still have increased enrollment, which helps also fund our school district. But other than that, we really don't have anything else coming in from the state, and so we're really having to scrape by. We had great local contribution in last year being able to pass our local operations levy, and so that has really helped with the percentage that we can't get from the state because we're not completely fully funded. Some of that money goes to our special education. Our demographic has changed enough to where we are getting some federal dollars in under Title I and Title IV, where we can afford having an interventionist help us with our data, help us with our student interventions for those students that are struggling and need that extra support.
What are some of the things here at Southside that you're keying in on that you have seen a big impact when it comes maybe to counselors or how students can talk with leadership figures in the school, and then how that brings in the support of the parents.
Well, I believe that our staff, incredible professionals, all believe that all of our kids that cross our threshold are capable of success without exception. And I think the kids understand and believe in that. And that sort of rubs off on the parent clientele also, that they believe that this is a great school. We've had wonderful press this year and some of the things we've done, including our gym teacher jumping out of a plane and reading a book at the same time. Our fundraisers have really helped on a local basis because parents are connected. But it's the teachers helping kids understanding what their positive future can look like academically, vocationally, or just in doing service to the community and being able to understand that they can have a life outside of school when they grow up in a future that's going to be successful. And so our staff understands that. Our staff are very talented in understanding where kids are at and where they need to go. And that's an exact science these days. So we're using a lot of data and a lot of good conversations to understand and help kids the best we can.
I saw you out the other day changing the reader board on the signage out front, and you have a real good message out there. Tell us what it says. We choose.
Yeah, we choose to promote healthy and hopeful futures for our students. And that's the science of hope, where the adults understand that they need to believe in all kids, not just some kids, but all kids who cross our threshold as a public school. And then the kids understand that there's a positive relation and a positive connection with kids in a way that they can aspire to make their best future possible. And when they understand what their future is, then they come back to the present and live on a pathway with that stick-to-itness about understanding what their positive future can be. Most of that is right in front of them academically, what they can do to improve, but also too is knowing each other's aspirations and supporting each other as students. So our students get along really well here. They're happy, they're connected with their teachers, and they understand what each other's aspirations are for the future, and they articulate really well. So we don't really have a bullying problem because kids have each other's back. They understand that they're trying to do their best to get to their future also. And I'm knocking on wood, but our behavior here is also really good because we have great parent support between home and school. We have great connections, and we've increased our connections with our families and our communications a whole lot over the past 2 or 3 years. And I hope that that's our legacy and will continue. We translate everything into other languages now, and so our families that are coming in and just learning English feel like they're connected also and that they have a voice.
That's awesome. Paul is the superintendent here at the Southside School District, home of the Bobcats.
Go Bobcats.
Library's looking great here, buddy.
Thank you.
Lots of books.
It's a great teachable spot, too. We have a full-time librarian now, which is something we hadn't had in the past. She also covers our art classes, but at least we have students that have full-time access to the library. Yeah. So that's one of the better changes we've made this year.
Paul Weineke, Superintendent of Southside. Thank you much.
Thank you, Jeff, for this opportunity.